Good morning, family. Welcome to Chenchenwan Morning Devotion. Today's Tuesday, April 9th. Let's begin by greeting our beloved Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chenjian Champumanenge Kyungbe. Paro. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 찬운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체의 상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for opening prayer, I'd like to invite Mimi-san. Mimi, can you please unmute and pray for us? Thank you.
There's the Heavenly Parent, the new day, new morning you gave us. Thank you so much. And we really grateful to Mother on the us, Heavenly Parent, to the parent, to the Father, really supporting to the Mother, and to the Mother as only begotten daughter, determined when she was 17 years old. And after a cosmic accession of true Father, true Mother, determined more definitely to realize Heavenly Parent dream on the earth. Thank you very much, true Mother. And we really unite with true Mother's heart. We are so grateful. True Mother's memoir, we are reading together with brothers and sisters every morning to start new day. And new day the means new understanding of true mother, new understanding of true parent, new understanding of heavenly parent. Please watch us and guide us, and we really, with humble heart, reading and listening and sharing this the important time, important moment, and this starting of the new day. Heavenly Parent, and please guide each one of us. We can close up to you through the especially resonance prayer, Chonshimon resonance prayer. Heavenly Parent, we really want to start with you for this morning. I offer this through the name of Mimako Yukawa as Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Mimi-san. Thank you. All right, family, now it's time for our 100K reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's Memoir, and we're up to episode 17. And we have our volunteer reader for today is Ayako-san.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Mimi-san, for your prayer. And thank you, Ayako-san, for your reading this morning.
Okay.
So 18, right?
Yes. No, I'm sorry, 17.
17.
Man of peace. And God showed, okay. Chapter 3, the marriage supper of the Lamb. Without sacrifice and service, one cannot even begin to think one is living for the sake of others rather than for oneself. As I strictly cultivated my faith from a young age, I cherished the dream deep within in my heart. That dream was to liberate my Heavenly Father, who, throughout history, gave himself for the salvation of humanity. I wish to free him from the chains of our fallen history. We cannot meet God from the position of reigning over others. He finds us when we are silently working for the sake of those who in greater difficulty than ourselves. I came to know that when we think about God's will from the lower position, the position of offering and self-sacrifice, God's bitterness washes away and he will come to us. During the post-war years, the street of Seoul was full of the wounded. Numerous children, including war orphans, were suffering from hunger and disease. Few people were able to get timely treatment when they became sick. I wanted to heal people's injuries, relieve their pain, and guide them to the brighter world. As it was time for me to enter high school in the spring of 1959, I entered the St. John's Nursing School. Heavenly and earthly phoenixes. In the late 1950s, it wasn't easy for a single mother. My mother managed to make ends meet by doing any odd job that came her way. She did not rest even a moment in her devoted life of prayer. and in that way, she triumphed over those hardships and tribulations. One day, however, she announced to her small family, "I've been living meaninglessly. I must live a life of greater value." She left my maternal grandmother and me in the care of my aunt and moved into a Chompadon church and dedicated herself completely to church activities. She chose to take on the most menial of tasks. She would try to dissuade. People would try to dissuade her, but she pursued such work with the joyful and grateful heart. She had lived a life of devoted faith in North Korea greater than anyone, but she started at the bottom of the Unification Church. She overworked hard. She overworked herself, however, and her body grew weaker and weaker until she became seriously ill. Luckily, a church member she knew from the inside the womb church took her in. This person, Mrs. Oh Yeon Chun, was like the sister to her. They lived together in the Noryanjin neighborhood, and as they cared for each other. My mother gradually recovered her health. While at nursing school, I attended Chompadon Church every Sunday. One day, my mother saw me there. She took me to a corner and softly whispered, "A few nights ago, I had a dream that was hard to understand." "What did you dream?" I asked. There were women from church wearing white holy robes and standing there holding pink flowers. She said, "Then I saw you walking towards Teacher Moon. At that time, we called Father Moon Teacher. All of a sudden, thunder roared and lightning crashed from the sky and struck one spot. That there are you, and other women will look at you enviously." She paused, collecting her thought. That was when I woke up. "I think it means that something will happen that will shake the world." "I think so too," I replied. "I'm sure it is a prophetic dream, but I don't want to guess more than that." My mother did not imagine that this dream was a revelation from God, a prophecy that her only daughter, would be called to become true mother, the true mother who would give her life to the world, for the world, who would give her life for the world. But I had been thinking constantly about the word sacrifice and had determined to live life to sacrifice for God. This dream fit with that, and I had sense of its meaning. In the late autumn 1959, Mother Moon conducted a national missionary workshop at the Chompadon Church, and I participated with my mother. I was one side of the overcrowded church, busy with the workshop, but could see that on the other side, elder sisters were quietly working on another important matter. A few months later, senior grandmother of deep faith had begun preparation of Father Moon's marriage. They were considering which among the women of the church could be God's choice to be his bride. As I was only a schoolgirl and so much younger than Father Moon, my name would not have come up. Then one day, one of us sages among the grandmothers sought out Father Moon's to tell him about the dream. I saw many flocks of crane flying down from the heaven, she told him, and even though I kept trying to shoot them away, they came and covered Teacher Moon, Father Moon, provided that no interpretation. So the elder sister continued with confidence. I believe my dream is revelation from God. God's will. Revealing, sorry. I believe my dream is revealing God's will. That your bride name will include the Chinese character for hawk, crane. Shortly after I heard that, my mother told me another revelation she had received in prayer. A phoenix flew down from the heaven, and another flew up from the earth to meet it. The phoenix from the heaven was Father Moon. It brought to her mind her dream from years before when she went to Daegu to meet Father Moon, the dream in which a pair of golden dragon bowed down in the direction of Seoul. My mother thought about that, what all this might mean, and then then one morning at the dawn at dawn, she received a heavenly message. She just had taken a cold shower, and it came as she was reciting our family prayer. The phoenix descending from the heaven represents the Father Moon, she announced, and the phoenix rising from the earth represents the true mother. True father, yeah. My mother was happy with this understanding, but she continued quietly with the workshop and did not speak out of it. In the morning of following my 16th birthday, I matured. In the month of following my 16th birthday, I matured quickly, and it caught people's attention at church. Members would mention that I looked elegant and neat. I would hear someone say, Hatcha is peaceful and virtuous. She's like a crane, befitting her name. Another, she also very polite, and if you watch, she will see it very observant and has clear judgment. I stood out when I was with members of a congregation. People commented that I had an unstained purity, and I was one with God's will, and that I had embraced the virtue of obedience through the difficulties I had endured in North Korea. Hearing such comment, I disciplined myself not to feel proud or act carelessly. More than anything else, for his bride-to-be, Father Moon was looking for a woman with the sacrificial and devoted heart of living for others. He did not care about family background, economic status, or appearance. She had to be a woman with absolute faith, who could love the world. She had to be the woman who could conceive of saving the world. Because he had been unable to find such a woman, there have been no marriage of the supper, no marriage of the Lamb. He still did not fully know that heavenly bride who would become mother of heaven, earth, and humankind was close by. I had come to understand God's will, but I could not say anything to recognize the bride was Father Moon's mission and responsibility. Heavenly Bride. A short time later, Mrs. Oh Young-chun, the devoted member who had taken in my mother, went her job in the clothing store on the second floor of the Nakwon building in Central Seoul. She assisted the store owner and making garment. The owner was a longtime member we called the prayer grandmother. When Mrs. O arrived, owner was sewing together the men's suit. Mrs. O sat next to her and she pumped the wheel for the sewing machine and asked casually, "Oh, who is that suit for?" "This suit is for the Father Moon," was the grandmother's answer. "He is going to wear it at his engagement ceremony." Mrs. O perked up immediately and her eyes widened as she asked the natural question, "Who is to be the bride?" "Well," applied the grandmother, nonchalantly. The day of the engagement had been decided, but the bride hasn't been chosen yet. However, the ceremony is going to be held soon, so I am making his suit. Mrs. O's mind was buzzing. Who is going to be the bride? She pondered the question, but couldn't come up with any possibilities. Mrs. O was a person who often heard God's voice in Revelation. In fact, she had been offering prayer for devotion for 7 years for the sake of the appearance of the true mother. She right away took her question to God in prayer, and she received a revelation. Because it felt when she was 16 years old, the heavenly bride need to be younger than 20. This had never occurred to her before. It was only then that she understood the logic of God's will. She asked God again and again, "Who is a heavenly bride who is younger than 20?" Before long, she thought of me. I know Hak Jahan, who is around 16. She said to herself, "She often sits right next to me in church. Why did I think of her? Could it really be her?" Thank you.
Yakusan, reading today. Yeah, I absolutely love this section because really gives a very clear matching testimony. Yeah. So, which I think we all can look at and study, as I have been. Do we have any reflections, comments, questions?
Yes.
Yes, Juanita.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. This just a couple of things that I picked up that that was very important for the bride, the woman that would marry the Messiah. But the main thing was the untainted purity of mother. I think that was the main thing, purity. Because when your mind and heart are clear and you have pure thoughts about people, you don't get tangled up with pain and worried about somebody else. You don't get tangled up too much when you have a pure heart and a sound mind. Looking for a sound, she had a sound mind. And Father said she could conceive of saving the world. The bride could conceive of saving the world. And she did not speak much. Those are 4 attributes that I think that were very important for the bride of the Messiah. But the untainted purity was the main thing I felt for mother. That's the reason why she could really navigate being the wife of the Messiah and take all the things that came at her, because her heart was clean, her mind was pure. So she didn't worry about things. She just kept praying. But those are the 4 things I picked up this morning on the bride of the Messiah. Untainted purity, sound mind, conceiving of saving the world, and did not speak much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's not easy to maintain that. It's a mother's case. It is like winning the lottery. It's to have all of these things. This is also why I really do advocate for being, marrying earlier than later, because you have all. I mean, 17 is a beautiful age, especially for a woman, I think, to be married, because they're mature enough to know what they're getting into, but they're also not, you said, tainted by adult life, and so you can put all of that's face a lot of sexual energy into your spouse, not to be constantly trying to close your eyes to the world. No, you can open your eyes to the one person, that God's given you. And so I think in the ideal world, everyone will be married much younger, and they can grow their lives together. Yeah. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that mother can show us the way. Thank you, mother. Anyone else? It's good to see you again, Elizabeth. Mama Jean.
Yeah. Morning, everybody. I think that the whole church, at the time of Father's blessing, the whole church was having dreams and receiving signs from God and from Spirit World. And at the time, our true mother was at St. Joseph's Nursing School. And she would come to church on Sundays and see her mom, because her mom lived at the church doing church activities at the time. So true mother would come to church on Sundays and see her mom. And every time her mom get dreams, she would call mother and tell mother about her dreams. And I think at the time, all the grandmothers and the mothers were receiving signs from God. And then God told the grandmother that Eve fell under the age of 20, and that the bride for true father would have to be that age. And then they began to think about whom it would be. Then they discovered that it could be true mother, because at the time our true mother was just 16 years of age, attending St. Joseph Nursing School. And this just goes to show you that as compared with father, mother, the grandmothers, Mary, Jesus went 3 times to Mary to ask him to find him a bride. And I think at one time, Jesus said that his bride should be the sister of John the Baptist. But like Mary didn't want to get into that at the time. So this time, I think God used a different approach. He had the grandmothers and the mothers in the church dreaming and sewing clothes for fathers, engagement, and planning for father's wedding. So I think that God works in a mysterious way. And this time, God was certain that the person that has to be our true father's bride had to be someone who can love the world, who can be the mother of the universe, and who can love everyone. And I think that God worked in a way that the grandmother, they had to find true mother at the time, because God worked in that way that they would find her at the age of 16 years of age. Because of the age that Eve fell, they had to find true mother quickly at that age. Adieu.
That's you.
This search process is very, very important. I think there's a reason why Mother explains in detail this whole process, because I feel like we've kind of grown dull in the matching process. We kind of think, oh, I like that person. Let me see if that person can be the one. Like that's not how it works. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how soon Father knew true mother was the one, only begotten daughter. But even if he did know, I think he needs it to be a part of the community. He needs the community to recognize also. And as we do learn later, even though the community recognized true mother before the wedding, they still were jealous and they still had all these issues, right? But imagine if Father made a beeline straight for Mother, how much more she would have been, accused and, jealous and all these things. So it's like, really this must be a community decision. And like all of our matchings too, I believe it must be a part of the community, because that's the environment where that marriage will take, will have to grow in. You put the seed in the ground, that you need to have fertile soil. So that's why the community needs to be having revelations and having dreams. And so I always emphasize this with every match that I want to be a part of. I need some kind of confirmation, spiritual confirmation. And in True Mother's case, there's many confirmations, right? In fact, for the only begotten daughter, there must be the most confirmation of who she is. And this is, again, before the wedding itself. So it's like it's showing who Mother is already, even before. And it's not just like narrowing down qualities. In this case, it was God really preparing his daughter. And for her mission, she needed a true father, complete her mission. So it just like all of us, you look at your spouse, that person was prepared by God for you. And that's how we have to see it. That person has a mission, you have a mission, you have a purpose, and you need your spouse to make it happen. And so I just love this story because it just shows how much God was working behind the scenes to, through the community, find these two, bring them together.
I love that, Pastor Milhan. Thank you so much for saying that, because I never even thought of it that way before. But you're absolutely right. If Father had picked out true mother all by himself and made a beeline to her because she was so young and so beautiful or whatever, nobody would have been happy. But because all of the community had been received, like Jean said, had been receiving dreams and revelations, and the whole community introduced the concept of getting blessed to her, to Father, that makes the whole story different. And it makes it, like you said, it's the community and the way you want to do matchings too, involving the whole community. It's just so beautiful. It's so heavenly to me. Instead of like, you meet somebody on the street or in a bar or something, and you like the way they look, you're sexually attracted to them or whatever reason, and you think, oh yeah, let's get married. It's so off, so off. But the way that we're doing it, involving the whole church and the whole community, our parents, it's so beautiful and just so heavenly. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That didn't even occur to me before. You're absolutely right.
And, the irony is that's how it used to be. People would go to the church, find their spouse there, because that's a holy place, good environment, support the marriage. But because the church has crumbled, then people don't trust the church anymore, and there's no place where you can plant that seed. There's no soil, plant it. So there's no wonder why marriages don't work, because foundationally you planted this seed on the concrete. Maybe a crack in the concrete, people just finding, plucking off some random person. There's no foundation to support it. Even if you have a nice wedding, it's still after the fact. It's like, oh, who is this person? I don't know who you. I know you. I don't know this person you married. Okay, I can try to get to know them now, but it's too late. I'm happy for you. I'm happy. But it's not like there wasn't this spiritual, this feeling that God really brought these two people together for a bigger purpose. There isn't that sense. And that's what it takes to keep a marriage together, because it's so hard. Yeah. Well, my underline. Thank you, Yaku-san, for reading while I'm highlighting things. But this, he did not care about family background, economic status, or appearance. And what's funny is that's kind of how people today, those are like the three things people look for, right? Look for security, they look for, appearance, economic status, because for people today, not everybody, okay, but for a large part, people they feel that's the glue, right? The money's the glue, the hotness, you got the hots for each other, that's the glue. That glue sucks. It doesn't stick for very long, because you lose your appearance, you lose economic status up and down. If that's your glue, then God, you need a lot of prayer. You need some new glue. And I will say, in the early time of a marriage, it doesn't hurt to have some money glue, to have some. This is why we do require for the matching, you do need to have a job. You know, you do need to have some stability, you know, but that's not the only thing. That is like, it's like, that's like Elmer's glue, okay? It's or the tacky glue, you know, tacky glue. It kind of just, it's not the strongest glue, but it helps keep it together in the beginning. So those things do help. Some things you have in common, right? Some shared interests. Those are nice. Those like tacky glue. But over time, you got to put that super glue on. That's applied. You know, super glue, it doesn't stick at all in the beginning, right? You got to hold it there. So you got tacky glue and super glue going on for the eternal marriage. At that point, your hobbies and common interests, that stuff won't even matter at all. Like, it's going to be a spiritual oneness. That's really what keeps them together forever. So anyway, that's my thing today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Milner. Thank you, everybody. Today is day 26 of our second 40-day special devotional period. Do we have any prayer requests today?
They are my husband. We
Your
came,
husband?
we came from Ghana for eyes to see eye doctor because
Oh,
he's having problem with the eyes and he has stroke.
oh,
I put him in prayers.
He has a what?
he had a stroke.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
We had it 3 years ago here in America before we went to Ghana, but now he's having sight problem. He can't see. So
I'm so sorry.
we've come for eye specialists. We put him in prayer.
Definitely.
A request.
Yes.
Okay.
This coming Saturday, our senior pastor, Reverend Juanita Pierui, agreed. He wants to go to a women's conference in the Jehovah Jireh Baptist Church. So my place, I cannot go because I'm going to New Jersey this weekend. But she's, and the title is Forgiveness. And I really wanted you to pray. These three ladies who's in charge, MC of the conferences are really great ladies in the Jehovah Jireh Baptist Church. So I'm going to, if you can pray, that meeting will really make our relationship, my relationship with them to higher levels. So I'm counting on Sister Juanita.
Yeah, and the lady that's going to speak, the lady's going to speak is even named Juanita.
Yeah, I mean, the now minister is going to be a Reverend Juanita Dunbar. So at one point, she has loud voice. And she's a really great speaker. So I said, anybody who has, we are joking. Anybody who has a Juanita has a big voice. I said, I know one sister who talks well. Anyway, we talk like that. And then the head of our evangelism department at the women's ministry is Gail Williams. She is blessed, actually, RFK. She went her husband together. The husband went to Spillwell. So she came back to Jehovah Jireh Baptist Church because that's where she grew up. So this is something's going on inside the church in the personnel. So if you can keep the prayer this coming
Absolutely.
Saturday, yeah, Sister Juanita, Reverend Juanita Pierui can do well. Her thesis was forgiveness, and the title of the conference is Forgiveness. So she may be able to speak, I think.
And Juanita's speaking tonight, too, at the evening prayer vigil about her ministry.
That's right.
A lot of forgiveness going around.
Yeah, I think my prayer would be that that the church can elevate. Do it with the tribal Messiah. You know, like John the Baptist, right? You know, not they should increase, I should decrease, but no, we increase together. Really, I think that's the time we're in. Complete their mission together. And this forgiveness providence is big. This forgiveness providence is going to unite Christianity. I'm telling you.
It will, because they'll understand that Jesus came for forgiveness. I mean, he came to help them to forgive, but the way they did it wasn't correct. But that's what Jesus brought to the whole universe, was the principle of forgiveness, the doctrine of forgiveness. And if
for whatever reason, Christianity forgot about that.
Yeah, I think so.
And now I think for the purpose of bringing it back now.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what God is doing, because everybody's talking about forgiveness.
Right. I think God wants us to lead that.
I think so too. I really do.
Our true parents have exemplified that in today's time. Right.
Because if we go into the churches talking about Jesus and forgiveness, I think the Christians can see a more rounded picture of us, And we talk about how Father forgave, the people who put him in jail, and, and Mother forgave people. So I think that they can see a wholeness. They can see a wholeness. They can see Father and Mother in the light of Jesus, I think they can see how they understand the role of Jesus and what Jesus brought to this world. I think that's our whole call. And I think that's the reason why Mother told the young people that we have to teach the young people about Jesus. That's one of her main thoughts about right now is to teach about Jesus.
Starts with Jesus, I'm telling you. Can't go around Jesus.
Elizabeth, what's your last name?
I spell for you.
Okay.
DZIKUNO.
Okay.
Now,
thank you.
Jukuno.
How you say it? Pronounce it?
Jukuno.
Jukuno.
Yeah, but I'm not having his last name because of document here. Yeah, his last name is KODUA.
Kodua.
Yeah.
His first name is Abraham.
Abraham? Oh, nice name. I love that name. All right, thank you.
Yeah, Elizabeth worked with us, in Harlem, and she was the one that decorated the whole, had her person decorate the whole church. Remember that, Yaka? She had that, the beautiful hanging things in the church.
The blue things.
Right, the blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, family, now it's time for us to get ready for our 7 minutes resonance prayer.
All right.
Let's begin with 3 Abaji Omanis.
Countryman resonance prayer, Shijak Abaji Omani Abaji Omani Abaji Omani.
Let's pray.
Good morning, true parents of heaven and earth and all humankind.
Good morning, Heavenly Father, and good morning, true parents, Heavenly Parent, and true parents. We pray to true Father. We pray to Father this time, Heavenly Parent, and true parents. True Father, looking over us, taking care of us. Heavenly Parent and true parents. We pray for true mother this time, true mother supporting,
Grateful that you are
Heavenly Parent and true parents. all our
Lord,
brothers
and
and
This
sisters
marriage of
that
Lamb,
you are
on
it
this
is a
morning.
key
We
to
pray,
From
Heavenly
forget
Parent,
what
and
you
we
going
did
up
pray
and
from
for
earth
privilege.
each
to
and
you
every
got our
one.
everyone,
We
hand
pray
that
Kingdom
you
of
gave
God,
we
us.
can love each
And
other,
from
help
this
salvation
each
very
other,
we
important
are
privilege
that
time,
we can
everywhere that
through
you are
do
giving
choosing,
you
marriage
all
of
Mother.
so
love.
that we
together,
can go
Heavenly
forth
Father,
and
loving
How
you
be
so
understanding
glory
subservient
to
and
Mother.
done
you
adhere to
can
man,
We
give
are
not
love,
to
silent,
reading
blood
love
in
a
the
yes,
person,
scripture.
not to forget a
being
person.
to
Father,
new parent, and
learn
Love
there
a
that
is
we
such
person,
pray
a
about
for
the
true
thing of
father.
Father
protect
duty,
them
We
and
pray
help
for
them,
true
protecting
mothers.
us,
We
protect
pray
them
for
in
the
guiding
champion
righteousness and
ones.
longing,
We
our
pray
purity
heart
is
for
God.
everyone in the
for
You
years
champion
are
and
house.
most,
years.
Lord,
We
we
pray,
so
want
Heavenly
strong
Father,
to
for
us,
true
oh
Before
God.
parents.
Jesus
Mother,
We
Christ
pray for
was
one
You,
true
born,
and
husband
that
and
person
wife.
can't
That
get
is
mad at
1,000
Heavenly
us.
years
our
They
son and Lord.
know
abraham,
That
and
is
wish
Heavenly,
know
to
let them help
ignore
us
you
to
or wish
be
you
sacrificing
should
and
harmony with each and
Satan.
awareness.
every
Time
one of
have
for
them,
room
only
even
to
as
begotten
a
love.
daughter.
couple.
So
Jesus,
many
Help
we
ways
them,
that
help
your
them,
get
son,
help
it.
them
Jesus
to
You
get
are
Christ,
to
So
know
you
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 know
and
that
you
after
know, we
as
are
2,000
true
years
family
of
here.
members
face
and
to
history,
let them help them
eternal
to
But these
Christ,
days
reach
are
in and
kind
reach
of
for
he
one
took
who's
easier,
know
holy,
you
can
one who's
understand our
after.
try
true
to
love of the
trust
Lord.
opens
We
give
up
up
bless
their
them, help
heart.
them.
You
everything
are
We
as
pray
a
for all
so
brothers
woman,
and
mother.
a
sisters.
clean
who
We
woman,
pray
Mother,
that we
understood
can
the
love
law
each
of
other,
no
help
Abraham.
each other,
toxic,
serve
our
each
He
other.
husband
movement
is
was
a
And
rich
man
in
and
country
and
of
true
the
we
Lord,
father,
a
may
committed
woman
that
that
we
to
can
don't
him.
love
doubt
God with the
herself,
actions.
a
Mother
woman
Then
that's
a
But
you mean
therefore,
God,
God,
we can
your
trust
just
you.
guide
That is
silent.
true. We
exactly
pray for
as
Reverend
loving,
you
Stanley. We
want
pray
to.
for
My
understanding,
Reverend
mother
Nicole.
try
was
to
going
We
into
pray for all our
because
brothers
women
and
We
tough
don't
sisters
know
love,
anything.
things
that
because
So
and
women
we
will
don't know
read
where
the
pray,
you are.
word
Heavenly Parent,
marriage
that
of
you
until
will
love.
Our
behold
So
how
the
much
was
we
essence of the
need
when
world in
you
he
our
should
so
let the
much
dear
whole
being,
Mother.
husband
cause
he could
of
not
attack.
deny
Abraham,
When
Just
we have
there
children,
pure
Abraham at this
when we
heart
time,
give
Heavenly
life
among
Parent,
and
man
and
and
children
a
we
lot
grant
of
him
much
the
the
women
word,
strength
fail.
how
Father,
to
to
so we
well
give
love
The
him,
older
rebirth
to
they
be
much
a
get,
also,
good
God,
adopter
dear
and
by
to
Holy
time
we
Spirit.
pray
you're
for him.
We
watching
give
over
We pray
rebirth
him,
for
the
Elizabeth
daughter
and
and
to
he
Tina.
in
We
determined
the
pray,
to
need
Heavenly
of
succeed,
Parent,
not
that you
determined
sister
not
can
to die.
uh,
But
connect
the
in
not
the
be
human
so much
being,
in
about
can
everywhere
love
how
each
was
we are
other,
not
we
help
give
each
connected.
other,
end
rebirth
serve
and
to
we
each
Mother
give
other.
the
connected
rebirth
foundation for
to
the
more
American
important.
Catholic
to
Church
Rebirth,
decide that they
That
use
trials and
use
and
you
rebirth
tribulations
is
of
more
people
important than
endured
birth.
their
we
love,
pray,
Mother
overcame
Birth
Mother,
is
and
until
the
she
bad,
come
background
up
and
from the
hurtful,
spiritual
age
for
that
and
conditions
she can
which
make
pain.
allowed
all
parents,
him
we
to
Dear
decisions
God,
become
knowing that
free
so much
after
and
we
for
want
the
to
50
pray
years and 8
we
months.
need
pray
to
that we
take
can
birth
go
is
After
forth
these
birth.
and be
64
Fabia
years of a
servant
marriage
and
of
making a
lamb,
advocate
and
for
decision
each
Love,
other.
still
and
we
the
see
God,
some
daughter
not
free
ego.
to
and
pray
You
that we
for the
can
understand
sake
have
of you
forgiveness and
religious
to
good
honesty
health
all
for our
and
brothers
to
and
take
the
of
sisters,
as
everything
well
you
good
we
as
health
do,
and
young
and
men
energy.
the
to
biblical
raise
from the
to
state
understanding, the
that
like
biblical
For
understanding
disciples
new
we
and
parents,
have
we
make his
pray
when we
our
church
study the
for
a
Bible, that we
disciple
can
our
as
use
nieces
the
and
well.
things in the
nephews who
Bible
have
that
been
the
we
We
Scripture
thank
connected
you.
does.
And
have
then
when Abraham at
Manipulate
this
the
time
feeling
help
Bible.
be with them
that
and help
We
I
each
live
again
other. Every
began
parent
to
can
in
keep
that
parents
in
and
light,
pray for
then we can
1951,
always
Abraham
you
health, energy, and
54
strength at this
the
war
mother
in
just
new parent and new
in
friends
Korea.
eat
And
and
those
that
we
we
were
things
love
in the
each
he
other,
Bible.
help each
dividing
other,
Let us
serve
so
each
we
you
only
other,
use
of
little bit
in the
December
that we
Bible,
can
dear
go
God.
who
forth
makes
So
young
that's
choose
what
of
we
people
do.
servant
blind
and
versus
adhere
that's
to
what
man.
we
Pray
by
do
the
for
so
true
own
Because the
parents.
Bible
We
connect
pray
trust
to
everyone on this
and
Father
morning prayer.
and
came
Pray
benefit
that we
in the
can love
everything
each
Bible to
other,
they
help
hold
are
each
fast.
other,
all
good
these
health
two
things
and
that
people
energy.
is
in a high
all
level
The
of
word
Pray
is
for
consciousness
in the
each
yeah
Bible,
our
dear God.
own
I'm
against
the
new
light
parent and true
own
of
love
parents
faith.
and
that we can
before
So
the
everybody
Everybody
come
come
to
to
the
the
Father.
Every
Look
parent and
deep
parent
in
in
our
our
world.
world.
You know, that's
That's
a
a
big thing to say for a person
Father,
with
at that
God.
time.
The only God.
And I'm
Nevertheless,
the way in the light.
Victorious
Nobody comes to the Father
goodness
through me.
Not anyone else.
Then you see the
number
Father.
Father,
Holy
My
Spirit
Lord,
dissociation,
that's
for
you
this
you.
people,
occasion
mankind,
of
young
He
people,
wants to
Brahma
know
say,
your
but you
beauty,
see me, you
number
see the
four,
to
mother.
stand before
of
you
North
1954,
and South
You
Korea and
see the
heavenly
Father
as
Israel.
their
here.
daughter.
And
Number
when
came
you
five, to
see the
overcome
together.
mother,
all
Forefather,
the
this
perfection
marriage
of
of
God,
Ram,
to
Yet,
realize
as
that
a
heavenly
stand
whole,
words
as a
in
group,
the
you
daughter
won't be
position,
able to
those
say
pray
who
that.
for the
but
words of
how
You be able to say,
feel
but
its
you
stand
see me, you
responsibility
see
and
the
be able
true
to
parent.
chanted
unite
Father,
You see me,
as
you
a
see
true
the
father.
mother.
But he had
You
to
see
loyalty,
the
go
brothers, you
from
see the father.
propriety,
zero
So
and
let us
chastity,
be
up
able
nation
to
we
say
believe
to
station.
to
purity,
keep binding Reverend
LSD,
Body,
The
Reverend
Holy Spirit
show clearly
association,
today
find
occasion of
who
Robert
we
Paul,
are
purification,
when we
the
walk in
Harlem
unification
Church
church
family.
purity.
that
every
will
word
Pray
fulfill
we
the
Heavenly
speak.
Chastity
Parent
role
and
means the
true parent
purity
From
God
our
given
of
to
mouths,
Almighty,
us,
oh God.
intended to
you
Let us
and
fulfill.
be
that
for
we
able
can help each other, help
eternal
each
life,
other.
right in
Serve
Then in
marriage.
each other. We
1960,
pray
Father,
Heavenly Parent
Father,
and true
you
we're
parent
so grateful
living
blessed
and
father
still
with
and
a
can't
how
live a
much we
beautiful
living
understand
bride,
still.
this
beautiful
point.
Not to
true
clear our
mother.
missionaries
Here
minds,
in
overseas. We
not to
pray
Northern New
for
clear,
England,
And
not to clear our heart.
heavenly
you
Can't take the
USA
people in the
Britain,
way
missionaries. We
any
pray
other
for
Father
way.
trilingual
Faith,
Not
missionaries.
to
We
God
pray
steal
for
people
Jesus
still
assured
trying to
in
help
the
Father
and
name
that
of
she
fathers,
Jesus.
was the person,
all
she
of
was
us
the
got
right
children.
one.
Just
She
like
Pray
we
had
have
Heavenly
great
Parent
the
and
need
true
for
parent
foundation,
to
you.
she
bless the
had
devotion,
lives
the
of
Mercy,
every generation.
care
qualifications
for you,
and
to come
duly
care
into
for the
it.
heart
leaders
of love.
Them to fulfill
Care
being
for
it,
here,
and they're
Thank
the
you for
leaders of
that
the
care for
people.
set it up
holy
They can
wedding
right now.
new
We're ready
generation
out there
that
and
to
surrounded
with
her
coming
God.
of
and
the
who
Christ.
leaders that
supported them.
call and save
Will be
America, that
Father,
America can
good.
become a
today
better world.
We're asking
we
for
see anything,
Last
Senior Pastor?
to
No, Kimmy? No,
uh,
just know the
Father,
that
religion.
time also
Please
around that time.
lead him, guide
And
him to
eventually
understand
36 come.
where we stand
Thank
and
you
where
for
we're
all of
going.
them.
What is our mission
Form
and
a
privilege.
protection around two
Father,
parents.
Pray Heavenly Parent and
That
true parents
and
over
unite with
not
all
speak of the house, my grandchildren,
interfere
all of the
I
pastors,
thank you,
Lieutenant
Father,
Reverend
for this
Governor,
day.
damage
thank you
was
for
being
those
That,
established.
pray
pastors,
Heavenly Parent and true
Father,
parents,
hey, what they
and
can
Parent, thank you
everyone
for
church
their
that is
right
parents, for
now
their
to
Chunchi One
to
prayer,
serve
be
the gift of
elderly
God.
morning
the
Pray
prayer.
that we
truth
can
of the
go forth
principle
the
Father,
shoes of a
emerge
servant that is
out of
legacy
pierced
Korea
to man's
into the
flesh and
world
for
instruct
this
them. Pray
and
490
that we can love
to
each
all
other.
around the
of
Western
our
world, in
Pray
America,
tradition.
in
that we
Europe,
can
and
unite with
Done
Reverend
almost every
brothers and
Damien
country.
Dunkley and his
in
wife,
People
1,000.
connected with the
that
principle, connect
unite
the
with
truth,
the
and
parent to
follow
Chunchi
be
One
the true mother. This is
devotion.
pray
Thank
for
you,
true
thank
parents,
you
holy
again.
God's blessing
so
coming
much.
up
Love and
soon. We
blessing.
pray Heavenly Parent and true parents
And
Pray
accumulate,
for
Father,
all the
our
people
going
longing
on
together.
prayer list
Pray
this
Heavenly Parent
morning.
and true
Father,
parents that
and
unite
The
along
safety of
true
true
parents
parents,
to you,
that
Heavenly
families
Parent.
are
together.
victorious and
Father, I
consider
thank
each
you
other.
you
for
won't be there.
this
Allah
day,
Pray that
Sanctum,
beautiful day
Father
after
God,
choose of a servant
successfully
that is
Father,
witnessing young
pierced to
of
people,
man's flesh,
especially young
Lord.
people, real
sins
Blood
truth,
for
enough
heaven.
yesterday,
unification
Love
and
for
this
heaven.
is a
in South
new
Korea and
Love
heavily
for
in
era,
pray that
new
we can
year,
fulfill
to overcome all
era is
crises
coming
affecting
that
the
the
world and to
that we
realize
can
we could
save
feel it.
America.
heavenly unified.
America can
be
that the
those
world is
And
saved.
Pray
family as
for
well.
get
Love
it done.
for heaven.
We can
Talk
get
to
it
the
aligning
son. I just
Help
from
us
want
the
to
first to go
compassion
forth.
to
The
sounding
shoes of
board
a
the
the
organ
must
and
start
pierce man's flesh,
new
Lord.
into the
beginning
good.
Help
Pray
us
from
for
now on.
Adieu. Adieu.
주도 주고 일백번 고쳐주고 백골이 진도 내도 넋이라도 희고 없고 임형한 일변탄치 가실 줄이 있으랴 임형한 일변탄치 가실 줄이 있으랴
Chunjian, Champamonemge, Kyungbae. Pado. Now I have 3 cheers of Okmanse.
경구의 합신 한우 부모님 억만세 천지인 참부모님 억만세 victory for the Chuncheon residents prayer 억만세.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have any announcements today?
Well, other than that, tonight Reverend Juanita will present an event that took place successfully in Atlanta with Senator James and many others. Looking, please come tonight. You can see that.
Thank you.
And I have a question. Sorry, last night explain about if you pay $40 for some can attend Zoom for the Blue Dragon tour. Can you explain a little more? I couldn't get last night the whole picture.
Right. So Pastor Naokimi called me yesterday, and something he mentioned was that they're thinking about making it available to join from home. So it would be through Zoom. But they haven't announced that yet. And so I guess at this stage, they're asking to see if that's of interest. I will tell him we are interested in that today. I'll tell him. And then the idea is those who registered for, viewing from home, with your email, they'll send a link that morning so you can participate.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everybody.
Is it $40?
He said $40. He told me $40. That's what they're thinking about now.
That's fair.
So they didn't send out how to register yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I'll tell him that we're interested in that, and
Hmm.
they'll go forward with it.
Good, good. All right, thank you everybody so much for coming today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Blessed day.
Have a good one.